Good afternoon, Flosstube. My name is Mandy. Welcome to my channel all about cross stitch. Today is Friday, November 22nd. My pronouns are she, her, and it's been a couple weeks since I did my last video. So got a few things to share. A couple of whips, a new start, a little bit of haul, some upcoming plans for once. So yeah, got some good stuff. I hope everyone's had a good couple of weeks. If you are new here, welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoy what you see and stick around. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for all of your support. Yeah, not sure where to start. You think after almost 5 years of doing these videos, I would be able to just come right out with what I wanted to say. What I was gonna say just completely went out of my mind. So yeah, I guess let's get right into it. I really don't have a lot to share in terms of, not much has been going on. Working, stitching, that's kind of been right about it, I guess. If you've been around before or for a while, I have shared a couple postcards that I've received that I wanted to share one today. If you've ever have not heard of a company called Postcrossing, so the website is postcrossing.com. You make a profile, you request an ad, basically request it. What you're doing is sending postcards around the world. So how it works is that you create a profile, you request an address, and they send you an email address. You review, not an email address, they send you an email with the address, that person's profile, and everything of that nature. Sometimes people ask for a specific kind of cards or say what kind of cards they don't want. You kind of give some information of maybe what you're into, hobbies, places you've traveled, all kinds of things like that. And so I've been doing it, I don't know, maybe a couple of years, not regularly, but it's definitely been fun. I've bought a few postcards from different places I've been to, fun places that, I've visited, or there's been a couple of special places that I've gone to that I've just purchased cards from, touristy shops or whatever. And I've also just bought some packs of cards from Amazon and that. And so part of my profile was that I mentioned that I'm into cross stitching because I'm obsessed. And so I've recently sent out a few cards. I've sent stuff to Germany, Norway, I think was one of them. There's a couple overseas European direction, things of that nature, but I don't remember where. But I received one. So like when you send a card, there's this code you have to put on it. So when the person receives it, they report on that number that they received their card. Now you get put on a list to receive a card. So it's not person to person or anything like that. It's, I don't remember where I would have sent one, but this one actually came from Boston. And I had to share it because it is stitching content, even though it is so cool. It says, make it work. And it's in cross stitch. It's printed. Nobody, stitched it or anything, but the letters are actually X's. You can see the needle and the spool. So I just thought that one was really cool. I do kind of wish that the postal machines didn't put some of these little marks on it. But it's so cute. I love it. The person sending it out, you added some fun washi tape, and yeah, so that was so fun. I had to share that. Kind of combining two hobbies. Not that postcard is a huge hobby, but it's been fun. Definitely brightens the inbox instead of all of the dumb junk mail that I always get for a local cable company that I'm not going with. Can't stand the company, not going with them. So I'm happy with the services I have. It's just amazing how much junk mail I get from this company wanting me to give them my business, but yet it's never any kind of good offers or anything like that. So, but that was fun. Definitely enjoy sending those out. I think I might be waiting on another one, or I don't remember where I'm last at, but it's always fun. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into what I've been working on and all that fun stuff. So I did start a new project because I seem to be on a kick of starting all the projects. So this one is Keep Your Laws Off My Body. This is a gift chart that is in a Facebook group hosted by Witches Garden Crafts. So the actual Facebook group is called Stitch Witchery by Witches Garden Craft. She's got like a business page, but then also a Facebook group. So this is in the Facebook group, Stitch Witchery by Witches Garden Crafts. Yeah, necessary words at this point, given, you know, US laws that have been happening. So I didn't get too far, but I got the good bit of counting done. Oh my goodness. So I started in this corner with the outer line going, you know, all the way around this way. When I was having to make the turn here, I was trying to make sure I was going to be lined up correctly, because, you know, trying to count all these stitches, I was repeatedly counting myself, thought I was right, said, yep, it's going to line up. I got probably up to here. It wasn't going to line up. So back a frog. But we got it done, and then I got the inner of keep your banner. So the thing about, I love the words of the whole thing. So around it, it says, we demand reproductive freedom and bodily autonomy. So around edges. I love the colors, but for reasons, I wanted to do it in a blue theme. And so I did. So it calls for 4 shades each of blue and browns. So, well, greens, I guess, but converting it to blue. So I'm keeping the browns as called for, but then I went through my DMC stash and came out with blues that were pretty much kind of the same tones, I guess, if you can call it, of what the greens were called for, but went with blues instead. Like one blue that I first pulled out, it was coming out more purple than what I wanted, so kind of switching out, you know, the cooler tones versus warmer tones or whatever. Dropping stuff all around. I don't have the blue or the green ones pulled, just because I never even bothered to look to see if I even had them in stash or not. This is totally my conversion. It was literally just randomly going through my floss box and saying, yep, this looks good. This looks good. Nope, gotta swap that one out, you know, things like that. I'm getting them kind of lined up. So finding 4 gradient shades that were pretty much the same, like coolness, warmth, or whatever you want to call it. So those are the shades that I went with. I think I got those two kind of mixed up in terms of the gradient. We can do it this way. Yeah, I guess that looks right. So 803, 517, I can't read my own handwriting, 813, and 828. So those are the blues that I pulled, and then the browns are the same kind of gradient style. I can't handle a bunch of bobbins at one time. So those are the shades of browns with updated blues instead of greens. So, just to kind of keep things a little on theme, I guess. So I can't wait to do more. I just put it down to work on some full coverage and other stuff. It is stitched on a piece of 16 count, I think. It could be 18 now that I think about it. I've got 2 different sandbar. I had another card here that was sand dollar. I'm like, no, that's not. So sandbar. As soon as I spied it, I was definitely kind of thinking something a little more neutral, just to make sure the colors popped out. But as soon as I saw this one in my stash and saw that it had splashes of blue, I definitely wanted to make sure some of that, like, it was just an instant, yep, that's the fabric that I need for the project. And to go fittingly enough with the theme of changes that people are trying to make, I had to use a band. I figured out that I had a band book needle minder that I had to go with it. I ended up looking it up because I had seen something recently, seeing that Charlotte's Web was banned, but I wasn't sure why. And I think it was something completely stupid, as most of them are. If I remember right, it was because of the idea of talking animals. No clue why that's problematic, but whatever. It's still on some kind of banned books list, and so it was fitting. I think my fabric is not exactly straight in the Q-snap, so that's why it definitely looks wonky. But I promise it's all in line. It's just not putting the Q-snap very straight. So hopefully you'll be seeing that again soon. Moving on. You've seen it before if you've been around. It is from the Emma Congdon Cross Stitch for the Soul. Give it a bookmark. And if you know, I just adore this piece. Love the saying. This piece is like 2 years old now. I need to get it done. This is stitched on a piece of 16 count color and cotton in ox. Why can I never remember the color of this fabric? If you're curious, let me know. I can get it put in comments on that. One of these days, I'm going to try to get my button gear with the description box. For some reason, that doesn't seem to happen. I honestly don't know if Color and Cotton even has this in the color line anyways. It's from like a 2020 fabric of the month. But here's where we're at. I can tell you how excited I am to have this stinking rainbow done, because it is across, the pattern is printed on 4 pages within the book. I made working copies. But there's no overlap in the pattern or anything. So trying to line things up across 4 pages was a pain in the butt. As much as I adore this pattern, I am glad to have that rainbow done. It's definitely a little off. I know it's somewhere right in here specifically. I fudged it. I made it work. It looks beautiful. The inner, like the actual letters of rainbow, well, rainbows, I did change the color to blue because it was called for, I think, in this lighter purple. It wasn't showing up. So I changed the color of that. So all of that's done. There's going to be a little fine line right here, and then it gets into the whole when it's dark, look for stars. So I don't know if I can say that necessarily. I would say about 50% done, I guess. So love the piece. Loving the way it looks, but it will be fun to have it done. I enjoy working on it though. Where's the magazine? Apparently it wasn't as ready as I thought it was. My next project was in a magazine, and now I don't know where said magazine is at. Found it. This was in Just Cross Stitch, August of 2017, and let me tell you, this project is right about that old. Because I started it pretty much, excuse the Flosstube itchy nose there. I started this pretty much as soon as I got the magazine because I fell in love with the design. So it is a design by, I feel like I always butcher this, Banu Demirel of Siba Designs. Goodness. I'm stitching mine on a 16 count white Aida, called for DMC. It is charted in a overdyed, but I just went with the DMC. And I am plugging away on this band right here. Looks like probably one of the biggest bands, so I only have like 3 left to do. I really hope that maybe I can make a focus on this somehow. I may have to do the whole split it up thing to see a finish in 2025, because what is that going to be? 8 years old? We need to have it done. I love the piece. It just hasn't been a focus. Hasn't been a thing that, oh, I gotta get it done. When you saw it last, I was working away on the red. All of the black had been completed. I started working on the red, and then yep, so I got all that red. Oops, it was all this way over here. Well, not, I don't know, some of the top row was done. I already had this portion done. So then I came down and then dropped down to the next one and working my way over. So this line will go all the way across. I just ran out of, he used up the black ink. Not ink. Wow, where did that come from? Well, I used the less of the black that was on my needle, and I'll pick up the rest when I'm ready to move on to the next band. So we've got just this little bit of red to do, and then there's going to be blue that goes in each of these. No, not those. It's across the middle portion, and then inside the little Pokemon bulbs that I kind of think of. Pokemon's just half red, half white, right? So it just always makes me think of whatever those things are. So I know nothing about Pokemon. So yeah, this has been a fun one. But I'm ready for it to be done. I was even looking at the pattern. Is there something that I could just cut off and just call it done? But we'll probably just finish it all. My last whip. I was very focused on a couple different projects, so I really haven't bounced around a whole lot. This piece. It is going to be my focus on a finish for 2025. I am currently sitting at 31%, so I've been trying to kind of make a bit of a push to make it a little easier next year. I did do the math just the other day of the stitches that I have left remaining that, like divided by 12 next year, what would be a monthly amount that I would have to do to like get it done by the end of the year. And it was sitting only at like 6,000 client. I cannot talk. What is up with me not being able to talk on Fridays? It's like 6,000 stitches that I would have to do a month, which honestly isn't that bad at all for me, my stitching. The last 2 years I've done focus on a finishes with full coverage fanatics, kind of a challenge. And once I picked it up picked both of those two pieces up in January, I flew. The first one I got done in April. Earlier this year, I got done in May. And so there were months that I was getting 12 to 14,000 stitches because I got so hyper focused on it. So this one's definitely gonna have a lot more stitches than either of those two projects had, but I'm stitching it for my mom and she's gonna want to have it hanging in her home. So this is mini C Opal artwork. Well, yeah, artwork by Elizabeth Welker, charted by Hayden. And I am currently sitting at 31.2 stitches or something like that. Percent. Goodness. And here we are. So this is page 5 and 6. 4 and 5. I am stitching the 2 pages together because page 5 is going to be the upper right corner. And it's only like 10 or 15 stitches wide, if that. I technically have page 5 done, but you can see that I still got a decent amount here. So I was hoping that I could get it finished and have it off the Q-snap by today. That's not happening, obviously, because we're here. So it looks like just kind of right in here, maybe a couple ninja stitches, but then it's really going to be this lighter shades of white and whatever else, a couple little ninja stitches there, and then the pages will be done. I have no clue at this point if I'll continue stitching on this yet once I get, this corner done, but I can't wait to see the whole piece off the Q-snap to see, the whole, it'll be basically the whole top row worth of pages, and then there's, I want to say maybe 3 rows. Yeah, because I think there's 2 rows of like a full normal size Hayden page, and then the bottom row, so a 3rd row, will be just partial. So yeah, it's moving along. I really can't wait to see it off of the Q-snap. But I haven't decided yet if I will move on to focusing on another project, or if we'll just kind of keep going with that to push it further ahead to get, as much as I can get finished for next year, kind of thing. Alrighty, so that is all that I have for what I've worked on. I did do a little shopping, and I 100% blame this on Aaron 2 Martini. Yep. I know she's got the big shoulders, she can take it. We've got a group chat, and she mentioned that the full coverage company Thread Geeks, I believe they're somewhere out of the UK, was having a sale. This was last Monday. No clue if it's still going on. I didn't even think about looking it up or anything. So at least on Monday, they were having a sale to buy 4 charts for the cost of 2. Well, I've been wanting to find some full coverage designs, patterns to stitch that are not heaven and earth. Just, I'm ready to spread my wings a little bit. I know there's a lot of full coverage companies out there that I've wanted to get a little more, you know, I wanted other projects that were not just heaven and earth. We've also talked about the reason why I've been stepping back from the company anyways, and the fact that they've just been so wishy-washy this past year regarding that topic. Just, they've turned me off completely. I was saddened to see this week, though, that they finally came out with a mini version of an Ann Stokes chart that I've had my eye on. I never bought, before I realized their stance on a particular topic. And it's bumming to hear that, or see that it's finally out, but I have no... I don't see any intentions of going and buying it. So we bought 4 from Thread Geeks, and they're so pretty. I've already got fabric on the way to start one. Yesterday I pulled the floss that I had on hand for that. In fact, I need to go to Joann's this weekend. Maybe I'll do that tonight after work. Somebody had posted in a Facebook group that like they're already starting some Black Friday sales, a whole week early, that DMC is on sale, where it's the whole price is too low to publish or whatever it is. I need a decent amount of floss yet, so, which is funny that I do with all the floss boxes that I have. I'm gonna move the camera just a minute. I have clutter all over the place, but I have a whole bunch of floss boxes right there. I live alone. People very rarely come over. I don't care about I just leave my floss boxes on the other end of the couch that I'm going to sit on anyways. I do have intentions of moving some books onto a different bookcase and maybe stacking them over there. But for now, they're on the end of my couch. And so when I'm missing a color or something that I can't put my hands on, I usually just reach for those boxes and they're there. Anyways, on to the ones that I purchased. This is called The Little Witch. Artist is by Fedora. And look at those colors. I know there's definitely going to be a lot of black, maybe some like 939 or something, because some of that background is going to be pretty dark. But the colors that are there, they're definitely my speed. So that is so cute. I love The Little Witch. Hence the name, The Little Witch. It's so cute. I did realize after the fact, all of the ones that I purchased, they have a cat. Which I know people want to see Stitches. If I've got a black cat. Her name is Stitches. She's passed out on my bed, and you can't move a sleeping cat, so maybe next time. If you're not following me on Instagram and you want to see pictures or videos of Stitches, go follow me there, StitchingBee82, because I share Stitches over there. Speaking of yet another black cat, this is a Jeremiah Kettner, and it is the Witch's Cat. This is the one that I'm planning on starting soon. So, depending on, when the order from Amazon gets here this weekend, it may be happening at some point this weekend. I love all the little mushrooms and the cat with their little fangs. Oh, it's just so cute. Again, it's the colors. I have sort of been kicking myself over not getting the Jeremiah Kettner pattern. Jessie, from Jessie Marie Does Stuff, is stitching this beautiful owl that I should have gotten. It's pretty much the same theme of the artwork as this, but the background is this gorgeous magenta color, and I should have just bought it when she shared, or like when she was starting it or something. I never did, and I'm kind of kicking myself because it's retired with Heaven and Earth because he left the company. But again, Thread Geeks, he's got, I don't remember if there was like 6 or 8 charts maybe, which they do have an owl, but it was the black cat, because, you know, black cat. And this one is called Lost Soul by Selena Fenech. Fenech. I actually had this on my wish list with Heaven and Earth, and when we got the heads up that she was leaving the company, that I should have gotten it then, but I didn't. But it showed up on Thread Geeks. I can tell you though, this is going to be a heck of a lot of black. So definitely a big difference from the other two that I've shown you with all of the colors. But yeah, again, black cat. In fact, when I was looking at the thread, I don't know, I was curious about how many black stitches were in some of these because I knew I was going to need a lot of black. And when I, on my pattern keeper, when I selected the black stitches so you can see and they show up highlighted, it was then that I realized there's a black cat right over here. Pretty sure I saw, yep, there's another one right there too, as well as the one right there on the floor. So we'll be starting that at some point. I don't have any instant plans at the moment though. And then the last one I got is Children of the Night by Sarah Richter. And the funny thing about this one is that I've had it on my wish list with Diamond Art Club to get it as a diamond painting, but we're just going to stitch it instead. Again, quite a bit of dark colors, blacks, 939s and such like that, but when I get to those pinks, let me tell you, I will be obsessed. So yeah, that was all the shopping that I did. Again, I got 4 charts for the cost of 2. So I thought it was a good timing to go ahead and try out the company. I didn't really look at all of the symbols too much, but again, I don't really care too much about that. I'm not too concerned with it, I should say, now that I have Pattern Keeper, highlights things and all that. But yeah, I think that's about it. Immediate plans is going to be to finish that page with on C Opal. Got floss hanging, so really close, a couple hundred, maybe 300 stitches. I don't know, I haven't counted them. As you can tell, I don't stitch in the 10 by 10 blocks or anything like that. I basically pick a symbol and I stitch. As far as the thread goes, maybe I'll just finish a lot of times I'll stitch, especially when I get a lot further into a page. I get to a point where I'll pick a color and I'll stitch maybe as far as just that one particular thread will go, and then I'll move on. Other times I'll pick a thread and stitch the entire page's worth, depending on where things are at, if I've filled in, you know, without having to do a whole lot of counting. Other time, like what I've been doing the past couple weeks, is because this particular page has a whole lot of confetti, I've focused in just maybe what fits into, you know, the view on Pattern Keeper without having to keep moving all around. Sometimes I'll just focus on that little bit of confetti and then, you know, move on kind of thing. So I'm all over the place when I stitch full coverage. Definitely changed how I'm stitching depending on the mood. I don't do the whole diagonals, 10 by 10 blocks. I'm even getting away from, and again, this is perfect with Pattern Keeper, of cutting things off right at the page markers. Especially because I do have a couple projects that have some distinctive, because of the tension, you get distinctive page breaks, and it's not my favorite thing. But like right now, I can see my eagles that I've stitched, and it's hanging on my wall framed. I know where that page, because it's right in the white where I tension changed, and so you can clearly see a line. Sitting from here, you can't see it. But I've got another full coverage piece that sits directly above my work desk, and because, you know, I'm 2 feet away from it when, you know, sitting at my desk and I look up, I can clearly see it. And again, it was right in the white too. So I tend to make sure to stitch into pages a little bit. That's why you see some little bits of, like, I don't have to go further down than this to finish the page. It's up a little bit. I am just rambling now. I am on my lunch break. I got a little bit left to sit back and chill a little bit before I gotta go back. I've been working a whole bunch of OT this week. I don't know if I mentioned that. But I'm also working a few hours tomorrow too. So hopefully I can have a stitchy evening just sitting back working on the project. Keep an eye out on my Instagram because as soon as I get that page finished, I will most likely share it. I don't know if it'll be tonight or not, but we'll see. Anyways, I hope everyone is doing well. Hope you're getting in lots of stitching. If you want to share what you're stitching on, I'd love to hear. And yeah, keep stitching. Stitch what brings you joy, and we'll see you again soon.